Is it the act of showing someone you care? Or is it the societal practice that we bear? Showing off what we are giving one another instead of simply being modest as caregivers. I can tell you what it is not, but it will make you hate me because it makes you distraught. It is not the act that counts, but the heart and intentions behind it. It is not bent in your interest that supersedes all others. It is not to be forced, but to be given. It is not something that can be expressed in pension. Thus, have you truly loved, or have you simply been a victim of a misguided hug? This next one is titled The Truth. Have you ever heard the phrase, honesty is the best policy? How many do you know have followed it flawlessly? Nobody. Because we are a human? No, because we are unable to confront the truth. The one that cannot be argued with, but is abused. The one that people attempt to hide away in good faith. You cannot keep it down in the depths forever laced, and embroidered with our ideals solely with what we want to see. Look in the mirror and recognize reality. And the next one is titled The World. The world is a place where tomorrow is not promised, and when today ends, it's just as anonymous. When I was asked the world to be fair, it spat in my face and said, who cares? I owe you nothing, never have, and never will. Who said I was obligated to give you what you asked? This is when I realized my life is a never-ending task. I have to give it my all and avoid those who want to see me maul. They do not understand my fight, neither how much it weighs the plight. That has the potential to break, but my father taught me well to be strong in a place where masked figures dwell. This one, I was actually on the news presenting this one, I'm just saying. But this one is titled, for Black History Month, this is titled Black History. The crack of prejudice echoes throughout history. There's a time when African Americans were physically bound, and that was no mystery. Families torn apart and hearts dislodged simply for the broadening of the economy that takes care of herself before you and me. Barebacks whipped, slaves forced to do nothing but pick. Ever since the 13th Amendment was passed, my race has been harassed. In the 60s, it was no better. Discrimination that differentiated who was white and colored. The color of my skin meant more than the blood itself. Police harassment against the innocent and poor. Judges were given the power to ignore. But a few years earlier, discrimination is going to be dealt with because the mother, Emmett Till, refused it. The murder of my son has shown me what happens to any of us had better be the business of us all. And we shall honor until we fall. Silent protests and figures fighting, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Angela Davis. Decades later, the urban ghettos became a new way to discriminate. Take away good education, add the drugs and thugs, create a new class of stereotypical mugs. Then throw them to a new system of slavery, incarceration all over the nation, and still the threat of elimination. The time to act is now. Raise your voices in the crowd. We will no longer accept the status quo. Watch me grow. And even though people pray for my demise, still I rise. This one. I'm all about natural beauty, y'all. I love natural beauty. It's something that's very important to me. So this next poem doesn't have a title, but yeah, I'm gonna name it That's Me. So, am I beautiful only because of how I look? The superficial outweighs my knowledge of a book. My hair and long weave gets people to notice me. What about my natural kinks and curls protruding from my scalp or my afro untamed by the world? Is my light brown skin from cultural mixing that makes me acceptable? Or does it make me more susceptible to the prejudice that exists and persists from stereotypical myths? Why am I praised for my Afrocentric style? Is it because I've worn something that many are too afraid to compile? Is it the eloquence in my speech that makes people applause? Or is it because they see the domestication of race that may appeal? Am I kind because of my remarks in silence? Or because of my avoidance of being deemed the angry Black woman through compliance? I am who I am because I am a strong, independent Black woman. That's me. This is my last one. I titled it Reality. I know you've heard of history, but it's the biggest lie you see, especially in establishing the American dream. It's said that people come here to seek equality. Last time I checked, the goal of those who are Aryan is to compete on equal opportunities for you and me. Just because of skin color, one can be torn from their mother under the false pretense of legality. What more has been done to realize this reality? And that's it now. start running that. But also, I like to be active in the community. I think that's a very important thing. I've been active from a very young age. My mom made sure of that. So yes, I agree with Chris, what Chris is doing. Young community, educating the next generation, that's all that I'm about. My brother, just 17, about to graduate, so I'm looking for the world and making it better for him. But thanks, y'all.
One more time. Give it up.